Hawthorn. So we get underway here at Waverley in fine and sunny conditions. Deere tries to take clean possession out of the middle. There's a chance here for the Hawks. Madigan, a little kick out towards centre wing. Well grabbed by Pike. Along the ground he goes. Pace gets Crawford there. Kick by Crawford up the boundary line to half forward. Hudson waiting for the crumbs that didn't come his way. The punch down goes to Kemp. His hand pass is good to Hart. Conceding ground. Now out in space is Turley. Across the half-back line goes Craig Turley. Chance for McDonald here. Comes out, makes a contest of it. Well done. Nearly beat Brennan to it, but a chance for Mitchell White. He clears towards centre wing. Bounces away from Mainwaring. Allen crunches him to the ground. That puts his fitness under test. Mainwaring struggled then. Jarman keeps the ball in. Banfield, a little hand pass. Comes to Turley. Up to Mainwaring.
Chris Mainwaring from centre wing around the boundary line and puts it out on the full. So penalty kick to Andy Collins. So it looks like Hawthorn pretty fired up. They're tearing in early in the piece. Collins, the tenacious back pocket player, to centre wing. Jarman at the back. Mainwaring again. The kick travelled about 2 metres, but he gets in a quick hand pass. Platten working hard in the packs. Here's Condon back in the Hawthorn side. Ben Allen, best on field against Carlton. Gets it back to the half-forward line. McKenna. Oh, great play to Hart by Guy McKenna. To the centre of the ground. Here's Crawford doing well early. Can't get his boot to it. He's harassed. And he loses the ball, and the umpire said he was pushed in the back.
Seriously, but he obviously didn't want to kick because he had no one to kick to.
So Shane Crawford dubbing the hand pass. Oh, shocking kick towards half forward. Beautifully picked up by Stevenson. Long hand pass. Condon a little bit slow to get there. Now he races after it. Condon looking for backup support. He hasn't got it. And it's forced over the line by David Hart.
Weather in Melbourne today, currently 12, expecting a top of 13. A strong northerly breeze is blowing across the ground, away from the commentary box towards the far side. Out of the air goes Jakovic. Here's Jarman just outside the 50. Terrific play by Jarman. His kick is low to full forward. It passes Gowers. Gowers gets it over the top to Hudson. Quick snap, goal! The Hawks first to score.
Unusual mistake too, Drew, by Michael Brennan. That kick coming from Jarman, going straight to Brennan. Just watch this again. Just attacked at Jarman. Good stuff. That's what they need him to do. It was an awkward kick, but found Brennan, who just fumbled and then slipped at the crucial moment. Then Gowers went up and under, but Hudson good enough to get a goal. Well played, Hawthorn.
Well, a good start to the Hawks. First blood. Here's Peter Wilson. Out of the centre of the half-forward line. Collins almost gave away a free kick. Langford is there. Still Langford diving on it. Now he's trying to hook it out of that pack. He was caught high, I felt. Yes, and a free kick to Chris Langford at half. He's playing at centre half back today. Now he's got a loose man way out there on centre wing. This is Shane Stevenson, the former Fitzroy player. Onto the left boot. In towards Hudson, who drops it, tries to tap it back to Stevenson, who's doing well early. Well played. Can't get his boot to it. Now he's trying to tap it on. Taken away by Kemp, one of those very strong midfield players. Pike, best on ground against Fitzroy last week. Brings it in towards the half-forward line, looking for the lead. Here's danger. Sumich onto the left boot. Peter Sumich blazes away a goal and hits the... No, it sneaks in from behind. So first score for the Eagles are behind to Peter Sumich.
Yeah, good job, or big job for Mark Graham down there. He's a terrific young player. He's played all across half-back and now the job at full-back.
Kick by Graham to half-back flank. Scott McGuinness takes the mark in a bit of space. His kick up towards centre wing. Jarman gets rid of Banfield. No whistle on the play. Jarman then with a hip and shoulder. And down goes McKenna. And McKenna felt that one. Well, how about that? Guy McKenna, a rock of Gibraltar. And you wouldn't expect that from Jarman. And Jarman's come out on top.
Well, Jarman's certainly been more physical this year in parts. He's also second on the most tackles in the AFL this season, averaging 4, so he's improved his game in that area.
And I'll tell you what, Guy McKenna's in trouble. He might have to come off.
They copped him in the mouth, obviously.
I thought they were holding his shoulder as well, so he's in a... Well, he's very strong in the upper body too, Guy McKenna. Looking at him, he's coming off. He was hit very hard. All he braced himself was a real hip and shoulder collision. So the ball at half forward for the Hawks. There's Guy McKenna with the blood streaming out of a cut. I don't think it's a blood nose. It seems to be
it's cut towards the top of the bridge. But yeah. Clepe looks at
They wouldn't want him off for long, Guy McKenna, because he sets up a lot of their players.
Simmons?
Yeah, Paul Simmons warming up and about to come on. So that's a bit of a loss to the Eagles. He is a real playmaker. As sprinting onto the ground is Paul Simmons, who did pretty well against Fitzroy last week. And the umpire's still not bouncing it. What's going on?
I can't see the reason why they should wait, Pete. McKenna's right off the ground.
Well, he's giving a lecture to a couple of the Eagles players, but seemed to be wasted about a minute there. So the tap from Turnbull. Turley. Pike to the half-forward line. McIntosh, the quickest player in the Eagles side, races after it. He's got Langford hot on his hammer. Here's Turley. Oh, brilliant pickup. Tackle by Platten was good. Half forward is Collins, racing after his Bond. Here's Scott McGuinness. They're pretty desperate, Hawthorn, early in the piece. He kicks it wide. Here's Mark Graham, one of the improvers in the competition. Brings it to centre wing and Deere. Still Deere, trying to get it out to Allen. And Allen will kick on the right foot to centre wing.
Kick by Ben Allen, close to the boundary line. And the breeze helps the ball out over there, beating Taylor, and we'll have a boundary throw in.
We might see a fair bit of the play drew out on that side of the ground. That breeze is fairly strong, pushing the ball that way.
Look at that scoreline the first time they met this year. 19-15 to 8 goals 10. 71-point win to the Hawks in Perth. Mainwaring concedes some ground. Ball's tapped up the ground, grabbed by Platten onto Stevenson. 70 metres out. A centering kick is good. Half volley by Gowers.
Gee, that's a great get.
The umpire paid the mark, did he? Way to Allen. To Jarman, who set up the first goal. This kick by Jarman is across the face of goal and out of bounds.
Well, to be honest with you, I thought the Gowers pick-up was a half volley, but the umpire obviously played at a mark. It was a terrific grab in those circumstances. Oh, that's great.
Definite half volley.
Fantastic. Half volley?
You thought he marked it, did you?
Clearly, Pete, yeah.
Another chance for the Hawks. Overrun by Banfield. Little scoop out. Oh, trouble for you. Marked by Tallis. Not paid. Goes to Platten. Tackled high, John Platten, 35 metres out, gets the free kick.
We had a tough game last week, Drew. Sorry to jump in there against Matty Hogg, just a 3 kicks, so he'd be very keen to atone here. And Dwayne Lamb, who's had Platten a few times.
Did you get him by the hair then, Roscoe?
Oh, gee, you grab him around the waist and still get him by the hair.
Hard to miss. Kick by Platten, he'll have to aim it right. It's home for a goal. Great start by the Hawks.
Quite right, Drew. They've really persisted here, and their attack on the football's been very good. And the Eagles have found it hard to get across half forward. And the Hawthorn numbers around the ball has been terrific. Their preparedness to run has seen them outnumber the Eagles on a number of occasions. And desperation there by Platten. And a good kick at goal.
Hawthorn by 11 points. I think they've got the scoring in, looking at the flags. Now, they go forward again. There was a lovely hand pass out to Gowers, taken by Hudson. Hudson should have tried to kick it off the ground. It's held to him. It's a loose ball. Kemp off the ground. Mainwaring. Gee, they're strong around midfield, the Eagles. But here's Taylor back in the Hawthorn side. He went past it. Mainwaring a quick kick around the boundary line, but the harassing of Hawthorn forced the error.
It's the second time he's done that. I mean, it was a gutsy effort to get it on both occasions by Mainwaring. The first one went out of bounds as well. But that pressure, Pete, was 3-on-2, and that's how the Eagles normally play.
Kick by McGuinness, short of the 50. Oh, Jakovic, what a season he's had. Glenn Jakovic. Would surprise no one if he won the Brownlow. Out he goes to Brennan. Along the ground with that kick. Well, that's going to beat the wind. It also beat McIntosh. Allen grabbed by McIntosh and no free kick. Comes to Bond. Kick smothered. Fumbled by Platten. Lamb his man. Deere does well, but the hand pass astray. Bond grabs it. Chance here for Simmons. Bouncing it half forward. Lewis and Cooper. Clever by McIntosh. He's just kept the ball in. Langford They're at half forward, the West Coast Eagles, looking for their first goal. Working in a confined space. McGuinness does well, but on the chest of Kemp.
Dean Kemp played very well, as many of the Eagles did, against Fitzroy at the Western Oval last week. Very talented player, Dean Kemp. He's going with the long torpedo punt here. He gets onto it to a long booming kick, but a diving mark taken by Condon. A very good mark. Plays on with a sweeping hand pass. This is Mark Graham getting onto his left boot. Kicks it to the wide open spaces. Crawford started off very, very well. They're pretty switched on, Hawthorn. In towards half forward. The race is on. Here's Jarman. Can he get there? No, he can't. And right on the true centre wing position, over it goes. I would imagine that the sportsbook drew the Eagles would be pretty hot favourites.
13-4 on the West Coast Eagles against Hawthorn, 2-1 against. But the Hawks have started well. Ruck infringement, free kick to the Eagles. Just about looked a 50-51 to be taken by Turnbull. Little hand pass to Matera, who's being picked up by Crawford on the wing. On the chest of Collins, up from the back pocket. Bond standing the mark, kicked by Collins. Jarman, what a start he's made. Kick by Jarman to half forward. Taylor leads and takes the mark. Last minute withdrawal last week with the flu. Kick by Taylor to the 50. Hudson's there. Regains his footing. The hand pass back a bit too swift there for Crawford. Matera did well. Into Kemp. Jakovic shrugs the tackle. Kick by Jakovic to centre wing. Bond with pace, getting away from Collins. Oh, Bond has it. The hand pass up to Simmons. The kick by Simmons to Sumic on a lead. 50 metres out, Peter Sumic. No mark. Play on. Graham.
So Mark Graham around the corner. Here's Tellis. Ran hard at the ball. Good play by Tellis. Oh, free kick. Have to be paid here, and it will go the way of Crawford. He was grabbed. He's playing very well, Crawford. On to Allen. Allen, the long kick. That's the way to play, Waverley. Down to Taylor. Punched away by Jakovic was good play. Here's Chris Langford. Very mobile, Langford. Good play. Dummies the hand pass. Runs around. Brings it in towards full forward. No mark. And how will the umpire see this? I think he'll bounce it. And that was a good lead, Ross.
Oh, terrific.
Just didn't quite get there. That's Greg Madigan.
Yes, he's interchanging with Gowers at the moment in that forward pocket, Pete, changing what seems to be on the ball.
50 metres out. Hawthorn in attack again. It goes forward. Allen shrugs off the tackle. Ben Allen from 40 metres. Snap. And hooked that one away for a behind.
This game just shows you what mental application can do to different sides. If you're switched on, as you mentioned earlier on, both Pete and Drew, that can make all the difference.
Here's a chance for Gowers. He had the sit and got in front of Lamb to take the mark. And with the breeze the way it is, he's not without a chance to score here. Doesn't go for the goal. Puts it out in front. McDonald at full forward in place of Dunstall. Chest mark. Alex McDonald, who's had to live down the tag of being the #1 draft for about 6 or 7 years now. He's had very few chances at league level. Just playing his 28th league game today. And it'd be great for him to cap off a good mark with a goal. Man on the mark's only about 15 metres out. 3 goals to nothing, Hawthorn.
Yeah, well played, Hawthorn. That was a terrific lead-up. Langford just showing the way through the centre, just avoided a few players, got the ball up forward. Madigan just couldn't quite get there with a mark, and then the ball finishes up in a set play, and that ball just carrying too far from the kick-out, which is normally taken by Guy McKenna, who's off the ground. Mitchell White taking the kick out, and it wasn't good enough to find Dwayne Lamb.
Well, are we going to see a boil over? Hawthorn by 18 points, and I really do believe Guy McKenna is a huge loss to West Coast across half back. He really does set them up. There's McGuinness now. Turley tries to take it out. There's Platten. Gets his boot to it. That's desperation. Here's Tellis. Socked away by Kemp. Taken by Crawford. On to Collins. Off the side of the boot to the half-forward line. Bounce important. Jarman a chance. He's got Taylor in support. Taylor looking for Platten and Crawford. Crawford having a terrific quarter. He's still going on with a Crawford. In towards Jarman at the back. Hudson's there also. He's got it, Paul Hudson. Dodging, weaving. Gets it back to Allen. Allen put it on the ground. There's Brennan trying to shuffle it out. Oh, they're pretty desperate. It's a free kick to Hawthorn for a trip. It'll go to Platten, but boy, have they switched on.
Someone's injured too.
Hudson.
Is it Hudson?
Doesn't look too good, Paul Hudson.
You got one in the midriff though, I think, Drew.
Looks as though it might... Oh, they're looking at the knee.
Funny midriff, yeah.
Oh, the kick by Platten's not great. Hard underneath, might have been grabbed when he didn't have it. Jakovic clears the area, but not a long way out. 65 metres. Taylor across the half-forward line to Deere. Deere dodging, weaving, beats the tackle, puts it out in front of Stevenson. A chance for Hawthorn's fourth. Down he goes.
Free kick, Drew.
Push.
Well, they're both going at great pace there. And I thought a bit stiff, but the umpire's in the best posse. Good pace by Stevens. Geez, he's quick. Oh, fair enough. Hands in the back. But the momentum took him forward. Another great opportunity.
Stevenson, who had 9 games for Fitzroy. Now with Hawthorn, he gets their fourth. Well, this is a boil-over. They do have the breeze, but it's 4-1 to 1 behind.
Yes, and they're making the most of it, Drew, and they're really players committed all the way through. Hudson just showing that prepared to hold onto the ball to find the right option. That's where he hurt his knee, his left knee. Allen comes through, but there's Stevenson on screen. Did very well there. Chased the footy, got the push in the back from a heart, and finished with a good goal.
Well, this is just what the doctor ordered as far as Hawthorn was concerned. They needed a big start against this talented Eagles side. They lead by 24 points. Lawrence. He's beaten to it by Turnbull. Here's Simmons crashing his way through. Here's the talented Jarman. He's the one they want to fire. Onto the left foot. Here's McDonald. Yes! Oh, is this 50? I don't think so. I think that was fair enough.
It's just instantaneous, I think, Pete.
Well, McDonald's moving very, very well with the champion Dunstall out. And the Eagles don't look good in defence at the moment.
No, that's normally their strong point, Pete. But all those forwards are presenting themselves well. Madigan and Gowes when they're up there. McDonald, Taylor.
So Alex McDonald kicking for his second. What a start if he can kick this. He's only taking a couple of paces. He's directly in front. He stabs. I think he's gone. Yes. 2 goals to the makeshift full forward Alex McDonald. But what a start for the Hawks. They lead by 5 goals.
Yes, and midfield they've just been too strong at the moment. Again, Eagles do pride themselves on being one-on-one very good through midfield. And then if they do break away midfield, the opposition's backline has been very strong. But the reshuffling with McKenna off the ground. Wilson's come to half back to pick up Hudson. Simmons gone to the forward flank to take Wilson's spot, and they've just got them in a bit of disarray at the moment.
And last time they played, we must remember, we see Guy McKenna holding his nose, but Peter Matera was flattened in the first 2 minutes by Paul Deere. And he was a very, very big loss to West Coast. So you have a couple of champion players off, makes an enormous difference.
Yes, Banfield's been taken off Jarman.
5-1 to 1 point. Fantastic start by the Hawks. Kemp. McDonald's kicked his first 2 goals for the year in the seniors. Here's Pike, the kick inside the 50. They haven't been there too often, the West Coast Eagles. Competition leaders. Langford's playing up the ground. It's grabbed by Main Waring. It holds up a little bit in the breeze, but still makes it, but gets away to the right, 4 are behind.
Yes, Drew Banfield has had some problems with Jarman, who's opened up very well. Peter Wilson now picking him up. Banfield's gone across to Hudson on the other flank.
So Mark Graham, the big job at fullback on Sumich. Hawthorn electing to go with Chris Langford up at centre half back. Probably good matchups too, because
strength and speed to match McIntosh.
Yeah, McIntosh, very quick player. There's McGuinness and Langford. Oh, ducks the head to try and break the tackle. Gets in a hand pass. Here's Platten, but it's socket away from him towards full forward. Good use of the body then by Lawrence. He should head for the line. Ryan Turnbull is there, and Collins. Here's Matera, we haven't seen yet. And here's Platten holding the ball against Hawthorn. Johnny Russo deliberating that not a legitimate attempt was made to get rid of that now. Bond centres it, and it holds up in the breeze. Taken away by Cooper. Cooper to the half-back line. Kemp, it clears his head, but he's got the pace to get back onto the left boot. Dean Kemp finds Pike, and Platten taking the mark. Here's Don Pike, bringing it in short. And he's found, is it David Hart way down there?
Yes, come right down the ground. So
David Hart about 60 metres from goal. Definitely Hawthorn with the scoring in, I would think, as Hart goes for a wobbly looking torpedo punt kick. But a good mark taken by Ashley McIntosh, drifting across in front of Chris Langford.
We read it well, Pete, because the ball was always going to drop short. A few players around that area looking towards Sumich to come out and to contest that mark. And Langford was behind McIntosh. When you get that situation, he's too quick. There, he just seen behind Lewis there. He drops in and does the right thing. Takes it cleanly on his chest.
Good mark to McIntosh. He's directly in front. He should not miss this. A left footer. The Eagles need it. He stabs. And I feel he's goal here. Yes. So first goal of the Eagles, kicked by their versatile centre-half forward, Ashley McIntosh, and they needed that one, Roscoe.
Well, without doubt, that's stating the obvious, Pete, isn't it? With just over 5 minutes to go, they just probably only been forward inside that 50-metre arc 3 times, and it looked very untidy the first 2 occasions. This time, through a free kick, the ball was set up, and McIntosh read it very well. He's going to be a crucial player in that centre-half forward role.
Lawrence charges at Turnbull. Hawthorn have it. Here's Tallis out of the middle. The kick wide. Hudson with Turley. Hudson, who looked as though he injured a knee earlier on, takes a free kick here. It'll go back to Paul Hudson.
He's working hard, Paul Hudson, and that's important that he fires up on that half-forward line.
And without Dunstall, they certainly need him, their second leading goal kicker. Terrific punch by Matera. Covers about 30 metres. Turnbull on the turn. Over the centre of the ground. Oh, good mark getting back there by McGuinness. 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. The Eagles kicked the last goal, but Hawthorn kicked the first 5. Kicked by McGuinness to centre half forward. Jakovic punching again from Taylor. Ball on the ground. Pike. Into Wilson. Out in front of Banfield. His left footer. He puts it to a 50-50 contest between Bond and Collins. Well done by the youngster, just 19. But they've lost it now, the Eagles. McGuinness, Hawthorn turned on. Condon runs the ball over the line.
Probably good play by Condon because he was surrounded by Eagles.
Go, did he?
And he just walked across the line. So good thinking. Well, it looks like we're in for a real contest here at Waverley. Here's Lawrence at the back. Chris Lewis. Good play by Lewis, bringing in towards Sumich. Oh, Graham slips over. Big chance for the full forward, Peter Sumich. Graham's after him now. He ducks the head. That could be holding the ball, that. No, the umpire calls play on. Crawford's been well on top of Matera. He brings it towards the half-back line. Here's Dwayne Lamb, who took the place of John Worsfold in the side. He's picking up Platten. Handballs away from Platten. Then goes to grab it. Gets in a hand pass. Here's the look at the pace of Hart. David Hart in towards half forward, and the mark dropped by Sumich, but caught one in the back. So a free kick to Peter Sumich, way out at half forward.
Yeah, lucky there, Pete, because it's the second time he's dropped a mark, and those, when opportunities are so few and far between, you must take those cleanly. We saw Brennan drop one in the first few minutes, resulted in a Hawthorn goal. Fortunately got the free kick, but he's on his preferred area out there, Pete. He's kicking into that breeze.
I think with that wind, it'll be a very difficult kick. If he kicks this goal, it will be a magnificent kick.
He's going to have to punch it with a fairly low trajectory, I think.
Well, players from that side of the ground have been going for torpedo punts early in the game, so they're worried about the breeze, obviously, on that side. A northerly wind blowing. So he'll be right into the teeth of it here.
Clappe on for Simmons.
So the crowd, there's not a big crowd, but they're making plenty of noise, and Peter Sumich's taking a long time, which makes me suspect. And the umpire talking to him, he's not going to take it off him, is he? He's warning him he's taking too long. And that just proves that Peter Sumich is worried about the kick, I would think. A very difficult kick, this one. So Sumich, oh, magnificent attempt. Has he kicked this? Oh, he must have just missed. But he is a powerful kick, Roscoe.
As we said, he had to punch that fairly low, Pete.
3 minutes 10 remaining to quarter time. McGuinness kicks in. Ball Hawthorn, they might have spoiled each other. Sits up for Main Waring. Here's kick to the forward pocket. Sumich running out of room. McGuinness gets the hand pass away to Condon. Terrific kick by Condon. A great effort by Stevenson to trap that ball. Jarman and Wilson. Wilson's gone the gloves on a fine sunny day. Hoisted very, very high. Not a forwards ball at all. And the punch goes out of bounds. And we'll have a throw in.
Yes, well done by Matt Clappo. That's the third effort at the footy when he had to really make up a lot of ground to keep the ball there, and he's done that 3 times in the space of 40 seconds. Desperate stuff. He's now going in the back half.
Marking 12-5. Hawthorn, the leading marking team in the competition.
Well, that's because of the way, the style of game that they play. They control the ball a lot and chip it around. As we see Allen receiving from Scott McGuinness up in the air. Don Pike waits underneath. Jarman, I thought he should have put in a better effort there, Darren Jarman. Here's Pike on centre wing, onto the left boot, to the half-forward line. Some pushing and shoving going on. Here's Turley. The lead is on to Sumich. Over the back. It's Graham. Taken away by Main Waring. Oh,
ducked his head.
Pulling play on, he ducked the head. So some good tackling. Taken away by Condon. In towards Taylor. Taylor gets away from Djakovic. He's looking for a handball. He chips it across and he finds Stevenson in the centre of the ground.
Oh, he's got men on the outer side. Choice of a couple of them. He goes very wide for McGuinness, who's come right up from defence. Wilson giving chase. McGuinness has taken it towards the boundary line. He's in trouble. Tap back for Crawford. Crawford gets around. Walks the hand pass, then thumps it long to the forward pocket. Jarman from behind. Brennan. And the ball out of play. Well, once McGuinness got the ball so close to the boundary line out there, very difficult to bring it back to the goal square. Still, another chance for the Hawks. 1.5 minutes to go to quarter time.
Forward pocket, gee, one before quarter time would be pretty handy for them. Is Madigan and Mitchell White. Mitchell White won that one. Gowers looking for the hand pass, smothered though by Dean Kemp. But the Eagles haven't got their game together as yet, Ross. No, Hawthorn pressuring them.
Yes, they've made about a dozen changes too, Pete, trying to restructure to get the right model that they want.
I think Crawford on top of Matera is making a big difference too on that wing. They really rely on that drive, the Eagles. Here's Tallis. Oh, that was desperation by Tallis in towards McDonald. Gowers at the back, taken away by Don Pike. He had no one to give it to, so he heads for the safety of the boundary line. Good play by Pike.
Yeah, Peter Matera just 1 kick and 1 hand pass in the first quarter.
Yes, and Crawford links up to 6 and 3. True.
So 9-2. That's a pretty decisive edge, isn't it?
I'll say. And you win across the wings at Waverley, you go a long way towards winning the game. Kemp goes back. Matera gets his second kick. High to centre wing. Punch on by McIntosh. McGuinness. Collins well up from the back pocket. Short pass. Taylor with a break, this time on Djakovic. Back to McGuinness. He's getting plenty of the ball, Scott McGuinness. That's 10 disposals. A mark at centre half forward by Hudson. He'd nearly make the distance. A lot of Hawks up near the goal square. McDonald leading all over the place.
Well, he came off the bench last week, Drew, and kicked 3, but also kicked 3 points and was a bit messy in front of goal.
Kicked 28-27 for the year. Not a great conversion rate. 55 metres out. Looks all right. Yes! Second for Hudson, who's shrugged off a knee injury to kick 2. It's 6-1 to 1-3.
Well, he's going to be in strife, Drew, if he didn't kick that goal. He's had a number of opportunities to short pass and he elected to ignore them. And with the way that breezed in, it had to be a terrific kick. And in the finish, it really was that. He's now got Clappo as a marksman.
So we go back to the centre. A terrific quarter by Hawthorn. They lead by 28 points. The umpire throws it up. Lawrence getting beaten for it by Turnbull. Oh, here's Langford. Have they got time to score? They've got 15 seconds. Taylor can't get the second bite. Djakovic loses the ball in the tackle. Umpire calls play on. Still a chance for Hawthorn. Free kick noted Djakovic for a holding decision. But again, Hawthorn very desperate. And Djakovic held them up. Time clock ticking down. There won't be another score in this quarter. It's been all Hawthorn. They always play well against the Eagles, Hawthorn. And there's the siren to end a terrific quarter of football by the Hawks. Is this going to be a big upset? The Eagles have come back, no doubt. A very good side is Guy McKenna. You can see with that badly cut nose. I wonder if he'll come back on the side, onto the ground. They badly need him, the Eagles, across half back. The quarter time here at Waverley. Hawthorn 6-1-37 lead the West Coast 1-3 a total. So John Russo about to bounce at a big quarter coming up for the Eagles. They've got the advantage of the breeze as Lawrence jumps up high. Went without it, socket off the ground by Lamb. And Lewis in turn sockers it forward. Mainwaring loses his footing. Ben Allen appealing for the free kick. Umpire having none of that. It's shuffled out by Bond. On to Lewis. Cleverly done by Lewis. A quick kick to half forward, but the mark taken by the ever-reliable Andy Collins. Now Collins transferring play here. He gives it across to Paul Cooper. Now Cooper's looking for an option. That's clever play by Cooper. Instead of blazing away, he had a good look. That's 50. Well, it was knocked out of Langford's hand. The umpire ignored it. So the mark taken by Crawford, who's had a brilliant first term. Or Crawford, Cooper's dropped a sitter there, playing for the free kick. Should be knocking it on Paul Cooper. Not good play. Taken by Sumich. On to Wilson. Wilson bombs it in long. The race is on for the ball. Here's Ball racing back after it with McGuinness. Ball close to the boundary line. Keeps it in play. Gets it to Bond. Bond cleverly gets it to McIntosh. McIntosh for his second. Brings it in front of goal. But racing back to take the mark is Langford. And he plays on because he can see a loose man there in Condon.
Kick by Condon up towards centre wing. Platt in front of the pack. Little hand pass. Tallis, a little fumble, but good enough to get it to Stevenson. And Stevenson had a good first quarter with 6 possessions. Centering kick to Hudson. Regains it on the bounce. Sweeping hand pass. Jarman with time, but he needs every second he's got. The hand pass inside the 50. Allen into the breeze. Oh, great kick by Ben Allen. What a goal into the breeze.
Well, what a terrific opener, Drew, for the Hawthorn. Just their persistence again. Great work off half-back, and then Jarman. Almost a free kick to Hudson, but he did the right thing there, Hudson, and rather than kicking forward, he had Jarman free, who spent it before he even got his hands on it. Good enough to get going, and Ben Allen, who's been terrific so far in this game, finished up with a great goal.
So again, the umpire throws it up instead of bouncing it. Oh, Langford went in hard with the hip and shoulder, and he's setting the example there. But you wouldn't think Jarman could ever fumble like that, would you? He was good. I'll tell you who's doing well. Paul Hudson's playing a great game across half forward. That'll lift his confidence. Now, here's Jarman. Cleverly. The umpire said he threw that, and I think he suspect he did too to Crawford.
The umpire...
so a bad mistake because they're often running the Hawks.
It's Mark Prince, the umpire there. Prince, you saw that, was right on the spot. So Jason Ball is on the ground, Pete, in place of Matt Clappe. Turley's gone to half-back where Matt Clappe was to pick up Hudson. Ball to a forward pocket, Clappe off the ground.
That's part of a tradition in Adelaide. They've been doing it for years.
It was a South Australian handball, that's for sure. Guy McKenna wearing number 44 brings it out towards half-forward. There's no one there for the Eagles at the moment. Andy Collins, Sumich is there. Collins putting the pressure on Sumich, but they were there in numbers again, Hawthorn, and that's why they're doing well.
Exactly right.
Marks are 20-7, kicks 61-50, handballs 36-26. So Hawthorn dominating in every phase, and it's showing on the scoreboard.
And Drew, what Pete just said then was quite correct. Hawthorn are beating the Eagles at their own game. Their numbers around the footy, putting pressure on the Eagles when they get the ball. So their kicks forward are indiscriminate. Yet when Hawthorn go forward, they have some purpose.
Lawrence. It comes down to Langford. His kick up towards centre wing. Taylor with Jakovic. Sidestepping his Lamb. Taylor gets him. No whistle on the play. Matera fighting hard for it. Drags the ball back underneath him. And it's exactly what Jarman's saying. And you can often be free kick for that one. Ball up right on the logo.
So centre wing, Lawrence and Turnbull. Turnbull's done all right in the hit-outs, actually. There's Platten putting the pressure on Peter Matera. And the good thing about the umpiring today is that they are letting it flow a bit and they're not paying too many ticky-touch with ones, and you'd rather umpires err that way, I feel.
Good on you, Pete.
So centre wing Turnbull, I reckon he's rucking well. Look at that with the left hand. Taken away by Condon, straight up in the air. The umpire calling play on, so it won't be a mark to anyone here. Stevenson around the corner. That was cleverly done, but the mark taken by Glenn Jakovic, having a good battle with Taylor.
And winning it to 2 marks, 6 disposals. The kick up short of half forward. McIntosh can't take the mark in the front position. He regains it. Goes back. Wilson. 35 metres out. And he's missed to the right. Oh, he got it. Well, was that a badly needed goal by the Weagles? 7-1 to 2-3.
And Drew, it's just the persistence of McIntosh there. His pace got to the contest in front here. The spilt ball, his pace got him forward here under a bit of pressure, and then a clever handball to the voice of Wilson, who had plenty of space. Not an easy kick at goal here, but Wilson's been in pretty good form. And they needed that.
43 to 15. The centre bounce area, very important. Turnbull gets a hurried kick to it. Racing at his Condon. He gets a quick kick. That was good play to Allen. Allen punches it wide in the direction of Jarman. Racing after it is Guy McKenna. He goes to ground. Still got it. McKenna, and Jarman tackles. And the umpire said it was held to McKenna, and probably a fair decision there by the umpire. A bounce way out at centre wing. McKenna with that cut down the side of the nose. There's Darren Jarman. Bit of skill between those two, Roscoe.
Tallis for Hawthorn. Awkward half volley for Taylor. Turley. Up centre of the ground. Lewis has been very quiet. Condon's hand pass. Jarman's been fantastic. Perfect disposal for Taylor. Got 2.5 kicks to goal from there. Just inside the 50. McDonald very high. Here's Matera. Roaming far and wide now, chasing a few possessions. Oh, the accelerator. Still couldn't quite beat the tackle. Finds Lamb. Bond, spoiled by Collins. Collins kept on going. Well played by Andy Collins. Oh, it's terrific stuff. Now they've lost it. McKenna floats a hand pass to Matera. Starting to come good now, Peter Matera. The kick to half forward. Great kick. Wilson marks.
Exactly right, Drew. It had that distance, and it had that.
Peter Wilson. Anthony Condon on the mark. Now Wilson's chipping it into the pocket because Main Wearing has made the lead. He'll end up with it now. Loose man in the square is Ball, but he didn't go to it. He went the wrong option. Then Crawford battling hard. Here's Kemp. Oh, Kemp cleverly done. Still Crawford. Now Jarman. Jarman with skill. Comes out of the pack. Finds Condon. Gee, they went the wrong option. Then the Eagles. He's looking for Lawrence. Punched away by Turnbull was good play. Taken away by Tallis. Tallis the long kick towards free kick to Taylor. Yes, a push in the back against Jakovic, who tripped into him, but they're having a terrific battle, those two.
Yeah, well matched, aren't they? Had to be a free kick. That's what you get if you're in front.
Allen takes the mark, just forward of centre wing, not up to half forward yet. Chips in short, and the mark taken by Tallis. Braden Tallis, who for a while looked as though he might go down in history as the man who was stomped on by Dermot Brereton in that practice match pre-season. But subsequent events have really put that into the shade. And Tallis has played well all season. Goes for the torpedo into the breeze. Madigan's there. Platten dishes out to Hudson. Tries to paddle on. Stevenson.
Free kick, Drew. He actually dropped the ball. He actually put it to ground when he was tackled, then tried to hit it with one hand. So good decision by the umpire.
And David Hart with the free kick.
So David Hart's had a fine season. Well, he's had a fine career with the Eagles. To the half-back line. Up they go. Taylor at the back. Here's Turnbull. Right, shuffled out in the direction of Lawrence. Here's a touch of the fumbles. The umpire found a free kick for a push in the back. I think it's Lawrence out. Yes, it is Steve Lawrence, way out at half forward. They should be kicking as long as they can here into the breeze. It's a good kick by Lawrence too. McDonald, but Guy McKenna read that beautifully across the face of the pack, and gee, they need him in defence.
Well, it's great for the Eagles that he was able to come back. Great
for
distance.
A torpedo.
He's kicked that about 70 metres to Jakovic on centre wing. His kick goes 55. Oh, magnificent kick. On the run is McIntosh. One out is Sumic. Cooper at the back. Sumic with the run at it. A goal. It was Graham with Sumic, and Sumic had the position, and once he saw daylight, well, he had an open goal.
Well, their 4 key players featured there, Drew. McKenna, the big torp to Djakovic. Djakovic, a good kick to find McIntosh, and then McIntosh, a clever one to have Sumic in a bit of space, who just nudged Mark Graham out of the way here, just sufficiently to put him off. The ball carried them, and that's the easiest goal they've got for the game.
The Eagles are coming back. They're only 22 points behind now. They've got 12.5 minutes in this second term with the breeze. Now, oh, someone's injured. I think Guy McKenna, whether it's a new pair of shorts or something he's looking for.
Yeah, I saw the umpire talk to him, Pete, just before the bounce of this second quarter. Perhaps suggesting he's got blood on them somewhere.
So he's coming off Guy McKenna for some sort of treatment, and the umpire's holding up the game. You can't hold up the game for that, can you?
It's not the advantage of the Eagles either, after having just got that goal.
So surely you get on with the game and replace Guy McKenna.
Well, they can keep the game going.
That's ridiculous. There's no stretcher out there, or it is just wrong.
Everyone's confused, and he's going to go off. Now they're one short.
And what, the umpire's still holding up the game?
No. Now Clapo's on to replace him.
Here's Don Pike going for a run out of the middle. McGuinness gets underneath the ball. Sumic, a clever tap. Oh, well played, McIntosh. Very high kick. It floats out of bounds on the full.
So after a little interlude, the game goes on, but the Eagles starting to look dangerous. There's Guy McKenna. I just wonder if it's to do with that nose injury.
He must be shy. He could change his tweeds on centre wing and keep on with it, couldn't he?
Well, there's Andy Collins to the half-back line, almost to mark the McGuinness. Mainwaring, desperation by Mainwaring to get it in towards Sumic. He's caught, drops it. Umpire calling play on. I thought he put the ball straight on the ground then, Peter Sumic, as he was grabbed, but maybe play on decision. So let's see, grabs it, caught,
Spilled out.
puts it down, spilled out in the tackle, so the umpire
Play on.
quite correct. So the bounce. Ball. Oh, Peter Wilson around the corner. Now, was it touched off the boot? No, so it's out in the full. Penalty kick to Platten.
Well, with McKenna, it must be more serious than just changing the shorts. Otherwise, he'd be back. Kick by Platten. To half-back. Matera.
You still can't get over how the umpire held up the game for 2 minutes, Drew.
Yep, amazing. Well, there is McKenna, and giving all the appearances that he's about ready to come back, but it really shouldn't have taken him that long. Wilson. Oh, clever knock on by Ball. Oh, this is great stuff. We haven't sighted Chris Lewis yet. And his kick is across the face of goal and through for a behind.
He's only had a couple of touches, I think. Actually, 4 kicks. But the forwards, particularly as flankers, found it very hard to get into the game today for the Eagles.
They're starting to look threatening, though. They're starting to get their game together as we see Mark Graham looking for an option. He kicks it wide. Langford goes in after it against McIntosh. Langford getting it back to Tallis. He's got to kick it quickly. He does. Lewis is there with McGuinness. McGuinness went past it. Lewis trying to knock it on. There's the little terrier Crawford to Jarman. Oh, intercepted that hand pass. His ball. Around the corner goes Jason Ball. Up in the air. Peter Wilson underneath it. And that's a good mark. And he's worrying Condon. He's too quick for him.
Yep. And it was a good intercept, as you call Pete, there by Matt Clapper, who's got to come off the ground now for McKenna to come back.
Sumic calling for it long. He's there. He's one out with Graham. Graham caught behind. Almost a free kick to Sumic, who I thought he was grabbed by Graham. Bit lucky to get away with that, Mark Graham, as he sprints away. Oh, he should be kicking this long out of defence. And that is not good football. When you break clear in defence, you bang it as far as you can.
Well, Guy McKenna back on. And it looks as though they took just a little while to stop the bleeding on the nose of Guy McKenna. It's not to be Pike's kick. David Hart to take it. 7-1 to 3-4. The Hawks still leading. Kick by Hart. Good distance. McIntosh at the back, no mark. Platten, good roving. Tallis. Still with Raiden Tallis. Mainwaring smothered by Tallis.
Good play.
3 times he butted up. Pat on the head from John Platten. Contrasting hairstyles.
So that's one skill in modern day football really has improved over the years. That the smothering. Oh, look at Hawthorn tearing in. Here's Anthony Condon on the left boot. Wilson playing well. Back with the flight of the ball. Hudson is there. Good play by Hudson. Can't break the tackle. Gets it to Lawrence. Lawrence went one-handed. Should have been 2. Taken away by Wilson. Wilson in towards half forward. Pushing and shoving going on. Ball couldn't mark. Over the back, Andy Collins. He should head for the line, and that is good defensive play by Collins. Very good defensive play.
And a good confident tackle too there by Guy McKenna just before, which shows that he's not concerned about his facial problem.
Hawthorn have added a goal. They kicked the first goal of this quarter, but the Eagles coming back. Wilson. Mark to Lewis.
Yes, he's paid it, Drew.
It was a wobbly old ball. I wasn't sure whether maybe it had been smothered. But the mark paid to Chris Lewis.
Important kick too.
Well, the breeze right behind him. Whatever breeze is reaching him there with the protection of this grandstand. Mostly across the ground, the breeze, but slightly favouring the end to which the Eagles are going in this quarter. Coming up for his 5th kick, Chris Lewis. Just away to the right. 2 behinds this quarter.
Just shows you how deceiving that breeze is too, Drew. He kicked in the right area. Normally that breeze would have pushed it through the middle of the goals, but just didn't pick it up.
So they've had 8 shots apiece, but 20 points the margin in favour of the Hawks. Here's Chris Lewis and Madigan. Madigan with the height to thump it over the line. Greg Madigan, high school, Marsland College high jump champion. There's a famous face. Michael Tuck, over 400 games for the Hawthorn club, captain of the club, magnificent player. And here's Guy McKenna, well played by Langford. Langford tapped it back. Here's Pike, quick kick to half forward. The Hawthorn players went past it. The free kick paid against Andy Collins for too high.
Against Bond.
It will go to Bond.
Yes, Bond attacked the footy and Collins, in trying to shepherd, just took him too high, Pete.
So Shane Bond, plenty of pace, as has his brother at Carlton. He'll kick from 50 metres. A high floating kick. Will it clear the packet? Comes back. It's a goal. It's a goal to the Eagles. Yes. So a good kick by Shane Bond, and the Eagles are coming back.
Yes, it's the sort of persistence, Pete, they're renowned for, that irrespective of the situation, they still keep their heads up and keep attacking the footy. And it doesn't take much to get back into the game these days. They've had all the play pretty well in this quarter. It's been up that end, and given these conditions, that's an excellent kick.
Centre bounce, didn't clear the ball from the circle, so another ball up. Now plenty of players around this one. Well, the Eagles have kicked the last 3 goals, and they're certainly in this. Condon, the kick up towards half forward. Taylor and Jakovic. Jakovic inside to Kemp, taken over the line by Taylor. No whistle on the play. It's grabbed by Platten. His kick towards the 50. Oh, well played by Gowers. A little kick, 2-1 Hawthorn here. Hudson flies but can't take the mark. Turley gets back there for the Eagles. Straight up the centre of the ground. A wobbly kick, short of the centre circle. Tap down, Matera has it. Tackled by Langford. A fumble by McIntosh. Oh, high tackle on Mainwaring. And he'll go back and take the free kick. That was Jarman, who's already collected McKenna.
So Mainwaring in towards half-foot. Gowers at the back. The ball hits the deck. Jason Ball around the corner. Matera back with the flight and hugs it to his chest. A good mark. And I hope the umpire's not going to pay 50 for this.
No, Rowan Sawyer's the umpire coming there, too experienced for this.
Yes, good umpiring. Just give the player a warning.
That was the collision between Jarman and Mainwaring.
Peter Matera, one of the great kicks of the competition, will kick from 60 Probably the distance of doubt. Sumic is on the lead, but it's pretty crowded down there. A very long kick. He's holding it for a torpedo punt here. Now he's centering it in towards the direction of Sumic, who's underneath. The Hawthorn players all went for the punch. Sock it off the ground to the wide open spaces. Wilson's having a terrific quarter for the Eagles. His pace is worrying Condon. Look at that. Good play by Wilson. On the main Waring, who bombs away towards half forward. It should be a Hawthorn mark, and it is, taken by Scott McGuinness.
Gee, they haven't got it out of there yet. Grabbed by Turnbull. Little kick too wide for Sumic, but he's a chance. It backspins towards him. Pushed down, no whistle. Crawford. The hand pass is pinpoint. McGuinness going like a rocket. Up towards centre wing. Gowers. Balks the hand pass. Nearly walked it out. Stevenson. McDonald can't quite take the mark. It was Taylor. Taken by Jakovic. Kicked by Jakovic towards the 50. McIntosh is there. There's a push.
Yeah.
Hawthorn free kick.
Against ball initially. Tried to get a bit of a sit.
I think Hawthorn are finessing too much instead of bombing it long into the breeze.
Lawrence to Condon. Allen marks.
So Ben Allen looking for an option. Now off he goes. Umpire calling play on. That's good play because that is there's a loose man wide on his own in Cooper. Cooper to half forward. Hudson, use of the body was terrific by Hudson. Now he can run in and have a shot here. Oh, he has a touch of the fumbles. Now he gives it to Madigan. Back to Hudson. Paul Hudson from the boundary line. Kicks a goal across the face. And it rolls over the line. And I just get the feeling Hawthorn could really do with a goal here into the breeze.
Well, he just lost control of the ball. That bounce, Pete, that just made all the difference. He lost all his options. Had to turn his back on play.
The Hawks by 14 points. The Eagles have kicked the last 3 goals. Here's Jarman. 35 metres out. Kick smothered. Kicked out of defence there by White. Lewis at half-back. Up to centre wing for McIntosh. Drops the mark in front of Langford. Langford's got him.
Jeez,
McIntosh recovers. Into main Waring. Goes for plenty of distance. Sumic one out. Graham with him. Sumic gives him the slip now. McGuinness comes back to help. And the ball out of play about 40 metres around from the behind post.
Just sensing that McIntosh's speed, Pete, just proving a bit much at the moment for Langford. Just getting away.
Yeah, Langford's not all that slow, is he? But McIntosh is super quick.
Because Langford just a little wary perhaps of hamstrings as well.
You've hit the
It
nail
always
on the
sits
head.
in the back of your mind, I can tell you.
Yep, once you've had a hamstring injury, which Langford's had a couple of times. Here's Kemp, keeps it in play. Take it away, McGuinness. He's got to kick it long, Scott McGuinness. And he does it eventually. Jarman versus Guy McKenna. And McKenna happy to take it over the line. Half forward for the Eagles. 4.5 minutes of play left as we see. Now there is a good player in the crowd. Jason Dunstall, and on his right is David O'Halloran, who is a great Hawthorn Premiership player.
Ball, yell the crowd. Not Jason Ball, but holding the ball. The umpire will ball it up. They've come right back into it in this quarter, the Eagles. Well done by Kemp. Wilson palms on. Matera dangerous. Just out of bounds. About 40 metres around from the behind post. 4 minutes remaining to half-time. And Peter Matera, who was beaten early. 7 possessions. Crawford's had 12. McGuinness going well. Cooper. Spiral torpedo to centre wing. Lawrence gets underneath the ball. Turnbull. Off the ground goes Ryan Turnbull. Tallis back for Hawthorn. Boundary throw in.
So again a throw in at half forward for the Eagles. It's about 80 metres around from their goal. Trail by 14 points, so a vital few minutes coming up here. Here's Raiden Tallis, a quick kick. Gowers to Cooper. Cooper bombs it in long. That's better play. Taylor versus Jakovic. What a contest. It's Turley to mop up. Hart. Oh, bad bounce for Guy McKenna, but he's good enough to go and get it again. Clever play by McKenna. Sprints clear. Looks for Sumic. Sumic and Graham. Graham at the back. Did well. Still got it, Mark Graham. And a very good hand pass finds Langford. Langford chips it to Platten. Hawthorn off and running.
If Platten can get hold of it. Jarman just over centre wing. He's got Allen inside. Then Allen takes over. Inside centre half forward. Taylor almost. McDonald a hand pass to Gowers. Into the breeze goes Andy Gowers, but the kick's away to the right.
Gee, that could have made a big difference, Drew. The Eagles have halved the quarter-time difference of 28 points. As Pete mentioned, they're 14, now 15 behind. They've just had most of this play and trying to bridge that gap as ball is coming off, a tall player coming off the ground, clap at it, come on.
So there's Jason Balls. Found it difficult to get into the game. Mitchell White kicks long to the half-back line. Darren Jarman will swoop at the back, goes for the punch. That was good play to Platten. Now, was that high? Umpire said no. Play on. Jarman cleverly on to Lawrence. Lawrence chips at the half forward and finds Madigan. A vital 2.5 minutes here. Hawthorn really could do with one before half-time. He should be kicking to the top of the square here, and he does that, Madigan. It holds up in the breeze. They need someone to take a mark.
Well done.
But that waiting there is Turley. Very good mark, and gives it to Mitchell White.
Kick by White. Platten gets underneath it. Can't take the mark and spills off him and out of bounds.
He was suffering a bit too, Drew, after that tackle. He was on his hands and knees for a minute as the ball was in the Hawthorn forward area.
Well, a crunch by Glenn Jakovich would hurt.
Exactly.
Lawrence and Turnbull. Steve Lawrence. Out of bounds again. Clock down to 2 minutes to half-time. 15 points the margin. Hawthorn, after a blistering first term when they kicked 6-1 to 1-3, still holding sway. Lawrence palms the ball down. Lamb grabs it. He has the tagging job on Platten. Did that ball go out? Yes, just over the line. And a throw in at centre wing.
So we're under the 2 minutes to go to half-time. Just under 1 minute and 59 seconds. Lawrence and Turnbull. Turnbull using his body well. Madigan's got the leap though over the top, and Platten puts the tackle on Lamb here.
Yeah, we didn't have the ball and the umpire now saying too high. Yep.
So Platten not happy about it. Dwayne Lamb. Hand pass, a bad hand pass, because Gowers was Andy Collins was sweeping around at the back. Here's Kemp, but he took it over the line. So that was not good play by the Eagles.
Yeah, Dean Kemp just saying to Dwayne Lamb, get the ball long.
A lot of play over on that outer side. Strong northerly in Melbourne today. Kemp. Over his shoulder. No, he didn't get it over his shoulder. Out of bounds on the full.
Yep. Again, that's the pressure, Drew. Confined spaces, numbers around the ball.
Kick by Collins. Here's Jason Taylor. Jakovich, his man. Main wearing over it. McIntosh. Pretty scrappy here, this period of play up to half-time. Hawthorn won't mind. They lead 7-2 to 4 goals 5. 15-point lead.
Lawrence gets it out to Taylor on the Madigan. He's very mobile for a big man. Well played by Hudson. Taps it back to Stevenson, who should have kicked it instead of appealing for the free kick. Here's Kemp, and that's costly because it results in a turnover. Look at the pace. Wilson's far too quick for Condon.
Yep.
They've got to do something there. Wilson in towards Sumich. At the back was Graham. That was good play. Crawford has been excellent. Good play by Shane Crawford. Onto the left boot. He's looking for Condon. Now, has he got the pace to get there? Not quite. And David Hart quite happy to let it roll over the line.
It's a saving kick, Pete, because there's only half a minute left. The Eagles could well have got a scoring opportunity there.
Ball in ruck for the Eagles. Wilson just keeps on getting it. Punch out by Crawford in front of Matera for a throw-in. 13 possessions for Shane Crawford in half a game of football on Peter Matera. No mean effort. The glove one, Wilson wins this punch out. Straight back out of bounds. Well, not much has happened in the last 4 or 5 minutes. Darren Pritchard on the interchange bench for Hawthorn. He's been there a lot this year for Hawthorn, even though he's played every game.
Ray Jenke was sitting there too. They could do with him in the side with his skill. He's a very good half-back. Now here's Don Pike around the corner. Langford, well played by Langford. Tries to get his boot to it. Now little Platten goes in after. On to Condon. The time clock ticking down. They won't be able to score. Jarman's got it. But there's the siren to end the second term here. The Eagles came back hard at Hawthorn, but the Hawks still have the ascendancy on the scoreboard. We're in for a terrific second half here. Half time here at Waverley. The Hawks 7-2-44 lead the West Coast Eagles 4-5-29.
Quite overcast here now at Waverley. The umpire throws the ball in the air to start the second half. Langford got the ball out the back door. Jarman to Platten. Oh, terrific smother by Lewis. Matera stretches the hamstrings and gets after this one. The hand pass out in front of Lamb, who left Platten to win a kick. The kick by Lamb inside 50. Mainwaring running towards goal. Can he pick it up? No, he can't. Pressured by McGuinness, and the ball out of play.
Pritchard's also on for Hawthorn. His first run started on the bench.
Funny season. He would have spent time on the bench nearly
7 or
every
8
game.
games drew in the last few that I've been aware of.
And yet he's played every game.
Forward pocket for the Eagles. McIntosh and Langford taken away by Scott McGuinness up in the air. Only travelled about 20 metres. Tallis versus Kemp. That was good play by Tallis. Banfield has it smothered. Here's Kemp again around the corner of the dangerous Wilson. Well played by Wilson to Pike. Pike into an open goal and he's put it through. Well played, Wilson. So a good start to the Eagles. And again, that man, Peter Wilson, set that goal up.
Yeah, due credit to him too, Pete, because he works enormously hard. Sometimes perhaps overworks himself in trying to get to the footy when he knows he just won't get there. But just controlled the ball well enough. And Dean Kemp, who's struggled a bit today, he's been in the contest, but there's been a lot of pressure. It's a good quick handball, and Pike cleverly kept the ball low there to miss the smother coming from Graham.
Well, obviously going into the breeze doesn't worry the Eagles. They've kicked the last 4 goals of the game and have come right back at the Hawks after the Hawks' runaway start in the first quarter when they kicked 6-1 to 1-3. 9 points the margin now. And the hot favourites, the West Coast Eagles, coming back after a slow start. Platten out of the middle. But Hawthorn have had a real go here today. The low strength.
Should have been a free kick to Lawrence, but the umpire, Rowan Sawyers, was in the wrong posse and didn't see it.
Light rain starting to fall, and many of the spectators going back for some cover. McGuinness, standing start out of the middle, up towards half forward. Taylor has it punched away by Jakovic. Beautifully read by Clappe. Matera, isn't he a magician? Back to Matt Clappe, who started the game on the bench. Up towards half forward, McIntosh is there. Over the back of him, the skipper Langford. McIntosh, good vision. Back to Bond.
Bond, the long booming kick in the direction of Mainwaring. Graham back with the flight. Oh, a bit too much pace for Sumich. Kicks it to the centre wing area. The race is on. Jason Ball. Lawrence is there also. Lawrence concedes at the ball. Oh, not a good effort by Lawrence. And here he is again. They've got to do something here at half-forward Hawthorn. Wilson hooks it back in front towards the direction of McIntosh. Over the back of the dangerous Mainwaring. He's caught. Loses it to Platten. Platten up in the air. To the wide open spaces. The bounce important here. Jarman will get it. Danger for the Eagles because Jarman's foot disposal is normally impeccable. Look at that to Gowers. That was great play by Jarman. Here he is again. Chipping it in short. Hits Jarman. Hits Hudson on the navel. That is magnificent skill by Jarman.
Yes, and his persistence in running on too, Pete, having got rid of the ball in the first instance. Clappe just didn't realise he would have run on further and just dropped off the pace a bit. Jarman got the ball back and now it's a shot at goal.
Well, Hudson has kicked 2. They need this one, the Hawks. He's directly in front. He kicks it goal. It's a beauty right through the middle. 3 to Hudson. Great play, Jarman.
Yes, and some words there between Matera and Jakovic there. Just some uncertainty there. Bad bounce there for Clappe, who had the running there. Just watch as Jarman now runs on. Good effort there by Gowers to get in front. Jarman on again and a little too easy.
Oh, the hit out in the middle by Ball was fantastic to Lewis. Kick in the direction of Bond. Collins is there. Collins applying the tackle on Banfield. It spills for Bond. Play on. The kick by Bond. A centering effort is not bad. Sumich is there, but got caught behind. And an excellent mark by Graham. Low to the ground. The lights are on here at Waverley, so we're playing just about night football in the middle of winter. Of course, this was the venue. In 1991, the grand final was played out here, and Hawthorn beat the Eagles when the southern stand was under construction at the MCG.
Chris Langford, a good mark, diving mark at half-back. He should be kicking long. Well, no one on the mark here. He races away. Or an ordinary kick. And Kemp chips in to take the mark. A poor kick by Langford, in fact. Now, Kemp's got a man out wide. It's Chris Lewis on his own. Lewis dodges around Collins. Lewis brings it in towards half-forward. Good play by Langford. He made up for his mistake a moment ago. He hooked it in one-handed. What a good mark.
It's like having Superman playing on your side. And this man has been a Superman today, Jarman. He's been sensational. 15 possessions. Out to Collins he goes. He comes inboard. One out here is McDonald at full forward. Brennan. Michael Brennan gets back there. Helped out by Jakovic, who applies the shepherd. Kick by Brennan is perfect. Finger tipper grabbed by Banfield. His hand pass not all that good, but it's dragged in by White. On to Peter Matera. A long kick. Sumich. Spoiled by Graham. Oh, sensational pickup and a dribble along the ground just offline by Ball. Goal would have been pretty handy there for the Eagles.
Yes, and good kick there by Matera too. Sumich just a fraction slow to see that he had to lead because Matera had no one to kick to. They were all short. He had to just got a step forward in front of Graham. He could have taken that mark. Great stuff by Ball though, to pick the ball up like from a big fellow.
Yes, terrific skill by Jason Ball. Mark Graham, he's had the better of Sumich.
Yep.
Peter Sumich has kicked one. So Graham to the half-back line. It's thumped away. Taken by Pritchard. He was under pressure. Lewis did very, very well on the Clappe. Clappe up towards the direction of Sumich. Sumich and Graham. Well played by Graham. A very, very good effort because Sumich was in the box seat.
Yes, they've matched up pretty well there. Graham deceptively strong too, and he's good overhead as he's proven a few times across halfback, but got the front posse. Just made it tough there. Just pushed the ball forward. He'd want a better kick out this time though.
Gets the lead by Allen from the huddle, who takes the mark, just beats Matera. Up to centre wing, here's Crawford. He stumbles to the ground though. He's lost position to Banfield. Banfield's hand pass not great. Jarman for Hawthorn. Tackled by Wilson when he didn't have it. And a professional free, you'd reckon, by Wilson because Jarman was going to be off. Takes the free quickly. Crawford had kept going. Inside half forward. The kick to centre half forward. Tallis. And Raiden Tallis has been a good player. He's had 13 possessions and now kicking for goal.
Well, he's the sort of player, Drew, that just bobs up in these games because sometimes players don't pay enough attention to him, and he runs hard enough and he contests very well.
He's kicked 2 league goals in his career. First season player. Kick by Tallis is good. Very handy one to the Hawks, and they lead by 19 points.
Yes, and the plaudits from his teammates going to Crawford as well, who set that up. And it was a terrific kick. And a couple of quick responses to that opening goal by Pike of the Eagles. Jarman featuring that one which was kicked by Hudson. And now Tallis with a second.
So the umpire again throwing it up. That was Ball, kicked away by Pritchard, the half-forward. Taylor, a good mark. A very good one. Gee, I've enjoyed that contest, Jakovic and Taylor. Almost pretty even.
Oh, yes.
So Taylor should be bombing it in long. Put the pressure on the Eagles' defence by kicking it long to the top of the square, and that's what he's done. Hudson a chance here. Oh, he read that much better than Turley.
Turley expected that to carry a bit further, and it just dropped down. It was a bit of a tumbler of a kick. And then when he had front position, Hudson, he was never going to make the square, and the ball just dropped short.
Well, Hudson for goal number 4. What a handy one if he kicks this. He kicks it goal. I think he's dogged it. Yes. Well, The Hawks on a roll again as Hudson kicks his fourth. He's playing a great game.
Well, he certainly stood up today, Pete, because he's going to be the player in the absence of Dunstall, along with, say, McDonald, that had to stand up, and he's done that, not only getting the ball, but kicking goals. He kicked 3-3 last week, coming off the bench. A little inaccurate off that with his disposal, but today, 4 straight. Having a bit of a niggle with the knee early, too. He's come back well.
Back at Waverley, a similar pattern to the second quarter. Hawthorn kicked the first goal, or rather the Eagles kicked the first goal into the breeze. Now Hawthorn have kicked the next 3. Good hand pass out in front of Jarman. Jarman, a scintillating player to watch when he's on his game. Just gets the kick away. It's perfect on the mark to McDonald.
Well, it appeared as if the Hawthorn or the Eagles backman thought the ball was going to come short because it was tackled the last minute by Wilson. Watch this. Wilson comes back at him and just gets him as he's about to dispose, so they thought the ball was going to drop short, but in fact it carried very well. Got Brennan out.
Alex McDonald replacing Dunstall at full forward. He kicked 2 goals in the first quarter. This for goal number 3. Hawthorn on a roll.
And when that fellow slips himself, he's as exciting as any other player in the league, and he can run quickly. He doesn't often look as though he does, but makes position, controlled a pretty difficult ball there, and had enough carry to find McDonald.
Well, McDonald's done his job. He's kicked 3 and replacing Dunstall.
Yes.
So the umpire throwing it up again. Crisis time for the Eagles. Lawrence didn't go for it. Platten. Now Lawrence gets in a hand pass. Here's Ben Allen. Oh, they're on a roll, the Hawks. Hudson at the back, fighting hard. Jason Taylor on the left foot, bends it around the corner, and only 1 behind. Jarman's had 9 kicks and 9 handballs. This man's done his job because he's on one of the best, well, probably the best centre back in the league in Jakovic.
He's a pretty fair player himself, Pete. And he's so tall, and he wants front posse. You've always got to try and punch away. You can't try and outmark him from behind.
And at the moment, the Hawks proving they can play without Dunstall, who watches on from the grandstand. Crawford front of the pack. Just got a fingernail of that one. Knocked it inboard. Jakovic gets it. Pike up towards centre wing. McIntosh works to the front. Second touch was to Langford. Comes to Turnbull. It was Clappe. Here's Bond. Oh, McIntosh sprints onto this one. Short pass is good, and a juggle marked by Sumic. He's trying to crib a metre or 2. The mark is back out there, Pete.
The umpire Mark Prince there not being fooled by that at all. It's worth a try, though.
It's 69-37. The Eagles kicked the first goal of the term, but the Hawks have kicked the next 4. Sumic has kicked 1 goal, 2. Breeze across him, and look at the Breeze rip into that one. Out of bounds on the full.
That's the old Peter Sumic hook foot, isn't it?
It is a bit deep. And Mick Malthouse acknowledging the work of Jarman, who's now got Turley picking him up, with Wilson going back to pick up Hudson.
Well, that will rob the Eagles because Wilson was doing so well up forward. But I think he was forced into it, Mickey Malthouse. Here's Platten. Around the corner he goes. The race is on. Here's Hudson playing in front of Wilson. Well played by Hudson. Still going on with it. Wilson did well also. Andy Collins, he was there to lend support. Ben Allen grabs it. Oh, this is danger for the Eagles because Allen's got it and he's bombing it in long. Gowers underneath it. Mitchell White at the back. Here's the ever reliable Michael Brennan racing away. After him is Gowers. Brennan kicks to centre wing. Shane Crawford waits underneath it. Drops the mark. And he gives away a professional free kick. And it'll be a free kick to Matera. It won't be 50. Matera will go back and have his kick on centre wing.
$11 disposals coming up for Peter Matera. No great gain in distance there, but at least they've got the ball with Jason Ball. These 2 kicks to goal from there. Oh, good mark by Sumic. He looked to get underneath that, but at full stretch, he dragged it in.
Yes, and well done Peter Matera too, because he knew where everyone was leading initially, was into a pack, and just there he said to Ball, get out to the other side, and I'll give you some room to run into, which he did. That's a good grab by Sumic. Needs a goal here.
It'll take his best kick.
Well, he's a long kick, isn't he, Drew?
Yeah, but into the breeze, and the breeze also across him left to right, and he's 50 metres out. It gets right again. This time he scores, though. A point.
Peter Knights looks on. Brian Coleman on left of screen, the chairman of selectors, and John Kennedy. Oh, Peter Knights getting very worked up. John Kennedy on his right, a great player, many years for the Hawks now. Here's Darren Pritchard at half-back. He's kicking wide because he can see Langford on his own. Chris Langford couldn't grab it. Now he's got it. Onto the left boot. Can he keep it in? No, he puts it out on the full. So it'll be a kick to Dean Kemp way out there on centre wing.
The strong northerly favouring the right-hand end, but also blowing the ball towards the outer side, away from the cameras. 9 minutes 20 remaining in the third quarter. Kick by Kemp. Look at that hold up. McIntosh front position. Spoil from behind was disciplined by Langford. Bond. Little hand pass. Banfield. Close to the boundary line. Good mark by Lawrence. Over the top of ball. Centering kick to Pritchard, who spent the first half on the bench. A little bit slow to get rid of that. Just got rid of it. Jarman in front takes another mark. What a game he's played. 4 marks, 19 disposals. Inside the 50 is Gowers on the attacking side of the ground.
There's the kick.
Yeah, and the beauty of Jarman's effort too there, Pete, was the fact that he kept his feet and just didn't fall to ground. He just turned and had the options because the players had read him turning that way. Could be a goal.
Big chance for a goal from there. It's home.
Well, they've kicked 5 goals in this quarter, and Jarman's featured, I think, in 4. You can't do much better. See, he just kept his footing, didn't go to ground, and then just turned beautifully. That's a good mark there by Gowers. Mitchell White's a very good defender. Well done, Andy Gowers.
The Hawks again getting well on top of the Eagles. It's been a terrific quarter by them, considering the Eagles kicked the first goal into the breeze. I really think they're missing Guy McKenna.
Well,
I've always said if anything happened to McKenna, their back line, it'd be like a great gaping hole there.
Well, it's interesting too because he actually played pretty well in that second quarter and has not started this third. So obviously that problem with his face are not too good at half-time.
Well, here's Chris Lewis caught. Oh, we had it a long time. Umpire lets him get away with it. Here's Pike, a quick kick to half forward, and is it a free kick to the Eagles back on centre wing for a high tackle? Saying Anthony Condon not happy about it. Chris Lewis having plenty to say.
Saying it should have been down the ground.
But depends on, of course, when the tackle was, whether it was after he disposed of it or in the act of kicking, which the umpire obviously thought was in the act of kicking. Don Pike in towards the pocket. McIntosh. Mark, a very... Did he pay it?
I think he has, yeah.
So good mark by Steve McIntosh. Well, if we looked at Sumich's kicking, you'll find this difficult, Ross.
Well, he's probably a much straighter kick than Sumich in some respects. He looks a little more awkward, and that's just his third mark for the game. But
well, here's the kick. It won't quite make the distance. Players set themselves. Here's a chance for Jason Ball. He hooks it back to Bond. Bond brings it back in front. Oh, across the face of goal. And I think that has snuck across the line from behind. It has.
Pretty much indicative of how they've had their shots at goal too, Pete. Either too far out punching out that breeze, or when they've had a snapshot, they've been under enormous pressure. They've rarely been able to set up something as they normally do, to have a set shot from about 40 out. And they've been scragged when they've been on the run as well.
In this quarter, the Hawks have kicked 5 goals, 1. The Eagles, 1 goal, 4. Crawford. And the kick by Crawford up towards centre wing. To the man of the minute, Jarman. He's putting on a clinic here, Darren Jarman. He has been absolutely sensational. Waltzes away from them, delivers the ball perfectly. Gowers marks again.
Oh, this kicking exhibition by Jarman is sensational, isn't it?
Should you come to the footy to watch, Pete?
Kick by Gowers. No score this time. McDonald at the back. He's after it. Can he keep it in? He's got Hudson in support. Alex McDonald, a centering kick. That's terrific. Taylor's there, but in front, Clappe. Oh, his kick is smothered. And we'll have a throw in.
Oh, it's good play by Hawthorn. Clappe, I don't know whether he should have played on then. He took the punt.
Yes, I don't think the umpire said play on, so he just took his momentum forward.
So in front of the Hawthorn goal, let's tap back towards the line. And the Eagles haven't looked good all day, really, have they?
I mean, they've had to restructure 4 or 5 times, Pete, in each quarter, throwing their midfielders around, their defensive players, so they've never been settled all day.
So here's Taylor doing the ruck with Hudson, the dangerous Hudson for goal number 5. He bends it around. Yes, he's kicked it. Great goal, Paul Hudson. 5 goals to the talented half forward, and he is on fire.
Yes, and 3 in this quarter has just been outstanding, because this is the quarter the Eagles are going to try and get back into the game. And Hawthorn, the Eagles having got the first goal of this quarter, have responded magnificently. They've just played terrific, hard, constructive football. And they've had a couple of key forwards who've kicked the goals.
There's some real character coming out here in the Hawthorn display, written off by nearly every pundit, and long odds against in a 2-horse race against the competition leaders. And what a superb performance. They hadn't lost 4 in a row for 14 years. So they're defending their honour here today and doing it superbly. Main Waring just behind centre wing. Kick up towards half forward. McIntosh in the pack, but his opponent Chris Langford takes the mark. Sweeps the hand pass into Condon. That's not great, but it's going to come back to Condon. They work towards the outer side of the ground. Look at the running from defence. This is Graham up from full back. He's running away from Peter Sumich. Still going, Mark Graham. His left footer in the direction of Hudson. Spoil from behind, Wilson good. Hudson again. Round he goes. It's close. Oh, just offline. And this is his first miss. He's kicked 5 goals, 1.
Yes, and it's the confidence you breathe when you're playing like this, that your backman can run so far forward and be prepared to do that, knowing that you'll be covered from behind. Clappe has come off the ground and Simmons has come on. He's gone to the back half, of course.
Gee, isn't he an improved player, Mark Graham? He's had a magnificent season. Mitchell White, the half-back line, set themselves. No one can take the mark. Wilson caught. Gets a quick kick to it. Oh, well played by Crawford. Matera. Oh, good play, Crawford. Gets it to Allen. Ben Allen hooks it back. Pritchard at the back. Tries to thump it away. He's got it, Darren Pritchard. Hooks it back. Up they go. It's no mark. It's a loose ball to Djakovic. Oh, good play by Glenn Djakovic as he breaks the tackle. Mitchell White, a fumble. Oh, they're getting in each other's way here. And Alex McDonald's going to end up with this ball. Well played by McDonald. Smothered beautifully by Djakovic. He did that well. To the half-back line. And Taylor rattling it. Is it a mark? No. Pritchard gets it back. Here's Paul Cooper. A long kick. Pressure on again. Hudson flies with Gowers. And the Eagles will take it away here. And this time through Paul Simmons.
Matera pushed his man out. Free kick to Crawford. Everything going the Hawks' way. Just over 4 minutes to 3/4 time. I reckon you'll get a standing ovation from the Hawthorn fans at the last change, because they've shown some courage here and character, and they lead 82-39. At one stage, the margin got back to 9 points in this quarter. Crawford's kick. Gowers again. No mark. Well, he seemed to have a week, and he needed all of it. White. Is this another one? Ben Allen. Hawthorn romping away, and look at Mitchell White.
Well, the intention was right, Drew. He tried to get a handball to that ball as far out of the danger zone as he can. He was on his backside here. Just watch this. Rather than give to Banfield, he's trying to belt it out. Just missed it completely like a wet weather day. Too easy.
2 goals to Ben Allen. Madigan in the ruck. Lawrence off the ground. Well played by Madigan. There's Dwayne Lamb, who's been fairly quiet. Stevenson, who had a very good first term. On the left foot, Djakovic and Taylor. They've had a great battle. Top mark, Hudson. He's kicked 5. The lead is on. A great pass. And he hits McDonald on the chest. I don't think they need Dunster.
Would you like to tell him that?
Well, the forward line, of course, the understatement of the year, but it's the forward lines work beautifully.
Well, it's good for the club, Pete, that they know they can actually play good football without him.
So Alex McDonald taking the place of a champion, Jason Dunstall. He's kicked 3. He's directly in front from 45 metres. He stabs at goal, and he just missed maybe. Yes, one behind.
Yeah, it's his first blemish too, Pete.
And there's the great full forward, Jason Dunstall, in the crowd. He'd be pretty proud of his teammates today, Drew.
Oh, that's just a superb display they put on here. A burst in about 15 minutes in this quarter. Got a mark to Crawford. Play on anyway. Quickly to McGuinness. Up to the forward line.
Oh,
well, McDonald charged hard at the pack.
it hit him on the head, I think.
And the ball through for a behind.
And what we've seen in this third quarter too from the Eagles, particularly in their back half, just some hesitation from quite a number of players who normally run straight at the football and know what they're going to do. They're looking around to see whether there's a teammate there, will we crash into him, should I go for it? And as soon as you have that moment's hesitation, you're lost.
Well, McKenna out injured in the first minute of the game in a clash with Jarman, and of course Worsfold not playing.
So the ball rolls over the line, but you've got to hand it to Hawthorn for the effort they've put in. Tallis, you're going to mention.
Sorry,
this.
but just people like Tallis who've done a very good job on Kemp. I mean, they're the players who are the unsung heroes in a game like today.
Well, you mentioned that they had a lot to prove with Dunstall out. Everyone was saying they're a one-man side, and the players, I'm sure they would have had that drummed into them, that they had to win without their champion full forward. Now, Madigan doing some shepherding. Here's Condon getting in a quick hand pass. Take it away from Graham. There's Tallis, who we were just talking about. Turley. But look at 3 or 4 Hawthorn players. A pretty lucky free kick to Turley then.
Yeah.
He's got it. Centre of the ground. Craig Turley brings it to half forward. Madigan. Just a little nudge out of it. And the umpire calling play on. Chris Lewis races into goal and throws the ball away almost in the end. Umpire calling play on. Tapped on by Cooper. Gets it to Crawford. Crawford kicks it away. He'll be happy to see this roll to the line. And you listen to the Hawthorn crowd here.
Well, there have been some great advantages in following Hawthorn over the years, but they must have been shaking a bit in the last few weeks, losing their last 3 games in succession and facing 4 in a row today. But the Hawthorn fans have been repaid. In this quarter, it's been 7-4 to 1-4 Hawthorn. And the Eagles kicked the first goal in the quarter to get back to 9 points behind. Minute and a half to go to 3-quarter time. Pike caught in a good tackle by Pritchard. The hand pass astray and out of play.
Andy Collins takes it over the line. 1.5 minutes of play left in the third term. A terrific quarter of football by Hawthorn. A very proud club. They want to play in the finals again, Roscoe. And they're in danger of slipping out today. Now, socket off the ground by Banfield. Taken by Condon. Condon gives it to McGuinness. McGuinness to Ben Allen. Allen, a long hand pass. Graham, that was good play by Graham because he knew he was going to be grabbed. Knocked it onto Cooper. Cooper, the chip pass. He's looking for Crawford, and the slips catch by Crawford. He's been excellent. Now, the leader's onto Jarman here. He's also got McGuinness. McGuinness, 2 bites, and he's taken the mark, the half back. Probably too far out.
The marks are 54 to 28.
Wow, that just shows how they've controlled the game, Hawthorn. Here's McGuinness. And 55 metres, brings it up. It's a wobbly kick in front of goal, and Michael Brennan takes an uncontested mark.
In the last 40 seconds of the third quarter. Kick by Brennan towards the outer side. McGuinness got one hand to it. Here's Shane Stevenson. Ball goes out, another throw in. So I reckon we can predict a standing ovation here from the Hawthorn supporters at 3-quarter time, who've seen a glorious display in this third quarter, particularly from Darren Jarman, who started things off when he belted McKenna down in a perfect hip and shoulder. Here he is again, Jarman. Well, he lost his footing that time for about the first time today. Here's Bond. Oh, a bit of a fumble. McIntosh. Tallis was the tackler. Madigan paddles the ball up the ground. Stevenson did well. Here's the skipper, Langford. And there is the siren, signalling 3-quarter time here at Waverley. Hawthorn, you're back in town. 7 goals to 1 in the third term. A fantastic performance without Dunstall, and they didn't look as though they missed him a bit.
So the umpire throws the ball up. That's Johnny Russo, the umpire, at the start of this final term. The Eagles a mile behind it. The Hawks have been magnificent. That was Jason Ball getting it towards the half-forward line, and Chris Lewis. The Eagles badly need a couple of quick ones to start this term. There's Langford kicking it away towards the boundary line, and he's quite happy, just the captain, to see it roll over the line. He's played at centre-half back today on McIntosh, and McIntosh has tried hard but hasn't been a decisive player.
No, he had probably the better of Langford in the second quarter, but in the first and then the third, Langford was the better player.
Lawrence wins in the ruck, gains about 15 metres for his side.
Could very well see too, Drew, Hawthorn just bottle this up a bit. They'd be quite happy to maintain their lead, whilst they would obviously like to get a few more goals on the board for percentage, given the tightness of the 8. No doubt they'd be also happy if they win this with a similar margin.
Tallis takes the hand pass. The kick towards centre half forward. Taylor and Jakovic wrestling, not for the first time today. Here's Banfield. Good hand pass to Hart. They need a heap of goals, the Eagles. Kicked by Hart, a high ball just over centre wing. Up goes Bond. Good punch by Collins, helped out by Lawrence.
So centre wing with throw-in, Ball versus Lawrence, and as Ross Glendinning said, any time it goes towards the boundary line and rolls over, it'll certainly be to the advantage of Hawthorn. A huge lead, 90-39. Now there's a quick kick off the side of the boot. That was by Mark Bunn, the former Fitzroy player, and he clears the line. So a free kick to David Hart. We haven't seen much of Hart today either. He's had a fine season. So David Hart to half-forward. McIntosh went early. Now that was Clappe. That was a high tackle. I think John Russo was unsided then. Should have been an Eagles free kick to Bond. A very high tackle. But umpire caught behind the pack. And he's speaking to Chris Lewis, who obviously said something. Johnny Russo always with a grin on his face. Here's Lawrence, beaten to it by Ball. Here's Mark Bunn trying to tap it out. You've got to make an attempt out towards Collins. He'll go to the line. Very experienced defender, Andrew Collins.
Well, their experienced players have done well today, Pete, and they've been complimented by the likes of an Alex McDonald, who's bobbed up, or a Raiden Tallis. And they'll be much better for this experience, those players.
Throw in, Ball wins a decisive hit out. Up towards the forward pocket for the Eagles, but there have been so many boundary throw-ins in this quarter that's just falling into the lap of the Hawks, because they lead by 61 points, and the more the boundary umpire has the ball, the better the Hawks will like it. McIntosh against Langford this time. Clean possession, Ashley McIntosh. Back to Bond, running out of room, centering kick, Turley. It's Matt Clappe takes the mark. And Clappe is only about 20 metres from goal, and they should get the first of the term. Crowd today, 16,328. An appalling crowd, really, for the league leaders against a perennial finalist. Kick by Clappe. Oh, he's missed it for a behind.
Well, it's not their day, the Eagles, and those kicks aren't as easy as what they look on a windy day. You have to drop that. There's Mickey Malthouse down on the bench. Unusual.
Yes, perhaps wants to get a better feel for the game.
Gee, look at this bunch of players at half back. There must be about 18 players there. The umpire paying a free kick down here at half back. Now, which way is it going to go?
Going to go Hawthorn's way.
There's someone being held.
I wonder if it's against Sumich for not coming back far enough, which is a technical one, but Rowan Sawyer's the umpire giving that decision.
And look, he's going to bring him back almost to the centre square here.
That's where it's got to go.
So it's a kick there to Raiden Tallis. It's a handy kick. Tallis, centre wing. Oh, Jarman, he's got enormous skill. Now look at this, the leader's on out wide. Now he runs onto the left, now onto the right. And look at that kick. Oh, he finds Mark Bunn. Bunn kicks it goal off the side of the boot, and 1 point. He had about 4 or 5 options, changed his mind 4 times, Jarman.
Yes, he's a player who really does attract the spectators. Not that 16,000 today is a big attraction, but just a bit of class. And when I said before, he does slip himself. Bit of quality there.
Oh, that was well worth watching again. Here's Jakovic now. Kick up to centre wing. Mainwaring. In he comes to McIntosh. His pass for Sumich, very wide. hard pocket to score from there anyway. I don't know whether the lead's the right option over there.
Sumic is not moving well, though. He's not moving quickly and decisively, Roscoe.
Yeah, well, the ball in the last few weeks, he's had some wet days, and particularly last week, Pete, at the Western Oval against Fitzroy was a shocker. So, and the way the ball has been coming down, though, it's not an easy one. But you can still lead perhaps a more positively, and as Drew said, perhaps more directly down the ground rather than that pocket.
And maybe that's underestimating Graham. Is doing a fine job. Here's Cooper and Wilson. Wilson a hand pass to Matera, who's been fairly quiet. He's Bond slipping over, taken away by Cooper, and a clever hand pass around the boundary line and just wastes a little bit more time.
We've had more boundary throw-ins in this quarter than we have for the whole game.
So Langford to do the ruck work here, I feel, with McIntosh. Now almost a holding against Langford then, taken by McIntosh, up in the air, one-on-one contest, Graham and Sumic. Sumic did it well, then dived forward, no free kick, and he knows it, so a throw in. He's done all right in man-on-man contest, Mark Graham.
Still haven't had a goal in this last quarter. McIntosh only 30 metres out from goal. Wilson tries to spin through, raise the elbow in that pack too. Didn't come out with the ball, lost it to Collins. Here's Jarman, works his opponent off the ball, Banfield. That's fantastic by Jarman, allowing in Tallis, now Collins. Andy Collins getting the benefit of his teammates' work, and Hudson as well. Hudson kicked 3 goals in that third quarter, 5 for the game. Floats the hand pass, Collins the back pocket, to full forward, McDonald.
Got a couple of options there too, Drew. McDonald didn't want it as Andy Collins goes all the way back to the back pocket. But Jarman was just brilliant on that outer flank, come wing. Taylor may have got there as well.
Well, when you've got back pockets doing that, and earlier on we had Graham, the full back, crossing about 5 lines, you wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles thought Hawthorn had about 30 players out there. Alex McDonald, 35 metres out. Difficult one with the breeze. Missed it.
So there he is, the Jason Dunstall standing. Alex McDonald has kicked 3, Hudson has kicked 5. So they needed a couple of those forwards to stand up and be counted today. So those two have done the job. Now here's Jason Ball, couldn't mark. Taylor and Jakovic have had a terrific battle. Jakovic caught, breaks the G strong, breaks the tackle well, finds Bond. Bond up in the air to centre wing, Langford. Here's Condon. Oh, he did that well. Gets it to McGuinness. McGuinness a hurry kick. Oh, lucks of fortune. Finds Button. Button brings it to half forward, and on his own is Ben Allen. Off he goes. He's a long kick. Gets a quick hand pass into Stevenson. Stevenson on the left. Brings it in towards full forward. Gowers at the back. Which way will it bounce? Here's Simmons. He's tackled. Hudson. Mitchell White. Tapping it away towards half back, and he finds David Hart.
Hart bouncing out of the back pocket. Up to centre wing. Ball. Jarman gets over the top to spoil effectively. Fantastic. Bunn to Stevenson. Back to Jarman. This short pass not all that great. And Lamb is pushed down by Platten. Lamb will take the free kick.
Sorry, Drew.
Got to come back to Lamb.
Yeah, he's done a pretty good job on Platten, but they perhaps haven't needed Platten as much today. Other players have stepped up for him.
17 possessions though, John Platten.
Jason Ball to half forward. Wilson punches it away. Cooper's hot in his hammer. Well played. Oh, Wilson. High tackle, says the umpire, by Scott McGuinness, and McGuinness doesn't agree.
That was a Mario Milano tackle.
Yeah, let's have a look. Well, initially the tackle was all right, then he brought the head down, and it certainly made it look like it was a high tackle. So Peter Wilson, way out at half forward, centres it. That's a good-looking kick. Clappe a chance, but the big fist away. Lawrence and Platten. Platten gives it to Tallis. Tallis has got to kick it quickly. He does. He brings it to the centre of the ground. Taylor, very mobile, Jason Taylor, whose teammate Tallis got in the way then. Free kick to Lewis. He didn't have the ball.
Yep.
Chris Lewis from the centre circle. And still we haven't had a goal in this final turn. Sumic outnumbered. Ball spills to the back. Well done by McIntosh. But best on ground, Jarman has it again. His disposal to Taylor. No mark. Working to the back, Drew Banfield. Kicked by Banfield. As long as he can inside half forward. McGuinness drops what he should have taken. Collins is there. Bunn. Cooper.
Oof.
Crawford. Bit of trouble, but he slides the ball back to Graham. Oh, perfect. On his knees, Lawrence.
Well, it's Hawthorn's day. Everything's going their way now. Oh, dangerous kick by Steve Lawrence. But he finds Mark Bunn. Now, Bunn's got a couple of options here. Crawford and Collins. On to Crawford. Crawford over the top. Oh, here's Cooper off and running. They've created the loose man. He can draw the man here with a hand pass. Finds Taylor. The leader's on by McDonald. Here he is, Alex McDonald. No mark. Over the back. Taken away by Banfield. Now Hart. And David Hart kicks to the wide open spaces. Well, Chris Mainwaring's been a very quiet player. He's got it at half back. Mainwaring steadies. Brings it to half forward. Langford. Oh, this is a great contest. Langford and McIntosh. Langford's been with him on every occasion.
Yes, and it's due credit to the one of the older players on the ground just to keep up with a young, mobile, quick player like McIntosh. Good experience for McIntosh too. You should learn from these ones.
16 possessions each. Condon with a big punch. Pike taps defensively. Mainwaring slips a tackle. Won't give him a kick for that. Off the ground, Bunn has come off the bench and had 8 possessions already. Whistle's gone. Going to be a free kick here to Mainwaring. Crawford takes the mark at centre half back for Hawthorn.
Good kick.
Graham up from full back. Oh, good mark.
Yes, he might pay the advantage here. No, he won't. It'll come back to Graham. He's prepared to run up the ground,
yes.
Graham. Now off he goes. So here's the Jarman. He's had a birthday today. Darren Jarman kicks it out in front of Platten. After him's Dwayne Lamb. Here's Mitchell White, who's had a very ordinary day. Oh, again he's caught Platten. Keeps it in. And finally the youngster Simmons takes it over the line. But Mitchell White, poor old Mitchell White's had a touch of the fumbles today. He was terrific last week.
White playing just his 3rd AFL game this year. Here's Hudson. Stevenson did well. Here's Allen. Mainwaring. Hart gets it out of the pack. Banfield spoiled again by Jarman, doing the hard defensive things as well. Kemp. Clappe and McGuinness. Some sort of a kick by Clappe, but they've lost it. Here's Mark Bunn again. Going like a rocket. Allen, bit slow. Great tackle by Kemp. Well played by Dean Kemp to turn it over. Away to White. Bouncing ball for Lewis. Turns Condon inside out. Lewis approaches the 50. Goes for goal. It's their first of the quarter. Yes. Long time coming.
Well, looks as if it might have been a goalless last quarter, Drew, after the number we had in the 3rd. But this is a great effort by Kemp. Good highlights by the camera people there, because that's exactly what resulted in the goal, because Kemp just persisted with the tackle, got the footy, and then Lewis with a bit of pace. Knew he had the option to go long. There was none in the square.
So Anthony Condon and Chris Lewis on screen. As the ball comes back to the centre. 10.5 minutes of play left in this final term, and the Eagles had needed to have any chance. They needed 3 or 4 quick ones. That's their first for the term, as Ross Van Nitting said. Oh, Lawrence got one in the eye. Oh, I hope that's not an eye injury. It's serious eye injury there. Clappe. Here's Jarman. Oh, look at that. Jarman again. Oh, geez, having a day out. And when he's on like that, he is great to watch. David Hart to Jason Ball, a slips catch. And Jason Ball, an ordinary looking kick. Crawford's been outstanding. McIntosh loses it to Langford. Cops one in the back. Hand pass out towards Crawford. That was from McGuinness. The kick from McIntosh in towards the direction of Sumich. Graham is there. He's got backup support from Bunn. Now Bunn, oh, he touched the fumbles. Now he's got it. He's got backup support from Graham. Oh, they've almost lost it, Hawthorn. And if they could have got the ball, they had a loose man out the other side of the ground.
9.5 minutes remaining. It's 92 to 46. Exactly double their score. Here's Lewis. Centering kick. Mainwaring hits it hard. Going the wrong way. Still only 40 metres out. Turns and goals. Great goal. First goal to Mainwaring today. Second in the quarter for the Eagles.
Well, he's one of the high ball getter or ball winning players for the Eagles today, Chris Mainwaring, but still hasn't had much of an impact on the game because of the effort of the Hawthorn players. And he had an option inside, and Don Piper went to his right foot correctly. That's a clever goal.
So the Eagles tried to mount some sort of a challenge here. They've only got 9 minutes to make up a huge leeway. Here's Platten coming through the centre, a quick kick. Gowers bumped off the ball by Mitchell White. Good play by White. Simmons is there. Platten tried to kick it in mid-air. Allen tries to do the same. Here's Hudson tapping it out, or trying to tap it out towards Platten. They lock it in there. It'll be a bounce and half forward for Hawthorn. So Jason Ball to do the ruck work. I wonder if Turnbull's injured. I thought he rucked very well early.
Well, his hand was heavily strapped, his left one, Pete, as he came off both his wrist and hand. So obviously there's a problem there.
So Lawrence against Ball. Here's Platten. Hasn't got the paces he used to have. There's Allen receiving from Bunn. And a good mark to Jakovic. He and Taylor have had a terrific battle. Glenn Jakovic finds Mainwaring at half back. On to Simmons. Simmons to Ball.
Here's Ball over centre wing with his kick. Wilson, well placed. Well done by Cooper. Langford now. Any amount of Hawks. Cooper, Crawford, McGuinness. Across the ground he goes. Lawrence has recovered from that knock to the eye. Collins up from the back pocket. Look at them queuing up for the ball here. Give it to Jarman. Giving chase is Banfield. Jarman off the ground. Still going to half forward. And the ball goes out of play.
It's like a Rolls Royce, Jarman, isn't he, the way he strolls around the ground?
Yeah, he's got cruise control.
Well, it was very important if Hawthorn to win this game that the players like Jarman really had days out. And he's done exactly that. That was Kemp to half forward. Anthony Condon has battled hard. And he hasn't got a lot of leg speed, but he's got a big heart, Condon.
Oh, he can run. He's had that back problem too, Pete. I think he's one of the players that had an epidural last week to miss the game. So it's not easy to play footy with a crook back.
Here's Ball and Lawrence. Lawrence jumps from the back. Jason Ball. Quick hand pass to Hart. Hart up in the air towards half forward. Langford at the back. Now, who's got the pace? Knocked on by Wilson. Here's Crawford. He's been terrific. Crawford finds Collins, the two lookalikes. Here's Andy Collins. He's been a good player, chipping it in. And he finds Scott McGuinness.
Well, you felt at three-quarter time the game was just about over, and it's been funny old last quarter. Just 2 goals to nothing, the West Coast Eagles. They needed about 9 more. Condon goes back to Stevenson. Here's Bond. The Hawks still really going and tackling hard and shepherding and spoiling and trying to protect this lead. And percentage could be a vital thing going into the finals. Here's a kick. Here's the fullback Graham at centre half forward. He goes from 50 metres. Will it make it? Jakovic gets back there and rushes it behind.
He's a dasher, isn't he?
Yes, and Peter Simic still sitting around the centre there. Still, that's the confidence you have when your team's playing so well, as I mentioned during the course of this game, to run off.
When I was playing years ago, used to frighten the hell out of you playing on David Dinch. He'd run down the ground for North Melbourne like that, bouncing the ball and have pot shots for goal.
But you always chased him, did you?
I chased. I was about 50 metres behind. Don Pike. Crawford put his body in. Good play. Here's Banfield and Jarman. Good play by Jarman. Well played. Taken by Kemp. Kemp loses the ball in the tackle, but he's got backup support. Chris Mainwaring onto the left boot. Off the side of the boot. Mark dropped by Condon. Bond is there. Now Collins. Geez, reliable Andy Collins, but this time he kicks it straight to Jason Ball.
It floats a hand pass for Hart, close to the boundary line. Kick by Hart towards the 50. Wilson and his opponent gets rid of him and takes the mark, Paul Cooper. Langford played at centre half back all day and has been fantastic on McIntosh. No Dunstall in this lineup, but the Hawks have still kicked 14 goals, 9. Having a big win. Down goes Hudson. Simmons. Kick by Simmons. Just finds Pike. Now Pike. Well, there's nobody to kick to. Graham charges at it. Can't take the mark. Spills off to Kemp. Now to Lamb. Short pass for Sumic.
Well, that's not justice, that.
No, Graham, they're just throwing his arms up in the air saying, what do I have to do? He had to replace his divot after he fell over there. And not getting back in time, which is through no fault of his own.
He really attacked the ball,
Oh,
didn't he?
yes. Another half a step. There's his divot. And he would have made it.
Well, Peter Sumic has kicked 1 goal, 3 and 1 out of bounds today. Fluky breeze. Distance 45 metres. Hook. And another behind. He doesn't look like the man who once kicked 100 in a season.
Mark Graham brings it back in and kicks it to Scott McGuinness. He played fairly well, McGuinness. He can chip it on to Graham. Good play by the fullback. That beautiful attacking backline play by Graham. Brings it to the centre of the ground. Gowers is right underneath this one. Paul Cooper peeling for the free kick. Good play by Cooper. Jarman has to wait. Oh, look at that. Onto the left boot. Let's have a look at the kick. Gee, I'd love to play full forward in front of this bloke.
How would you like that?
Wow, what about that for kicking exhibition, Roscoe?
Well, again, well done to Graham too, as Scotty McGuinness goes back to say to him, good running. They combined well out of that full-back area. Got the ball down that forward line far too easily from the kick-off.
So a difficult kick all the same for Jason Taylor here. Very windy down that end of the ground. He kicks, and you can see the breeze now taking it to the right for a behind. I think Jarman to be close to best of field honours now, wouldn't he, Roscoe?
Well, he had the votes probably at three-quarter time, Pete.
Langford's gone off for a rest, replaced by Madigan in Hawthorn's lineup. Mainwaring marks the kick in. Away to Pike, centre wing, Hart starting to cover ground now. Far too late in the game. McIntosh, Hart again. Oh, he took his eyes off it. Had it spent, David Hart. They'll lose it. Oh, it's a free kick against Jarman to Hart.
I might give him 2 votes now instead of 3.
Jarman, 6 marks, 28 possessions. The kick by Hart towards the 50. Sumic can't mark. Turley, little hand pass in. Clappe, no breathing space for you, son. Sumic out of the pack. Crawford in front. He's beaten Matera. Back to Collins. This one in front of Cooper, who has 1 boot on, 1 off. Wilson goes very wide. They've come to the goals from that side many times. It's the defensive side. And Lewis is out of play. And so is the ball, and the crowd loving it.
Well done by Steve Lawrence, because he was out on his feet. He just kept his ground and forced Lewis into the error. Here we are.
Yes, good play. Steve Lawrence. Now he's going to do the ruck work against Jason Ball. Lawrence won it. It's straight to Lewis. Chris Lewis races in the goal, and he's hooked it slightly and 1 behind only. But too late for the Eagles. The top performances by Hawthorn. They needed to win to stay in the top 8, and they've been. Well, they've got amazing. There's Mickey Malthouse looking on, but Hawthorn, amazing capacity to come back when you think they're down and out.
Well, if they've surprised you, I reckon they've surprised the whole of Australia, because you have stuck up for Hawthorn for 10 years. And every time people have written them off, you never have. And even you didn't tip them.
And I didn't think they could win today, Drew.
Well, I reckon if you haven't tipped them, nobody in Australia has. Skinner for the book. Here's Turley. 14-10 to 7 goals 12. Hawthorn have added just 4 behinds in this last quarter. Crawford about to dash away.
Free kick coming back to ball.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, look, holding on by Peter Russo says by Lawrence against Jason Ball.
Well, Ball, the kick is 10 metres short. Sumic with a big climb. Couldn't get it at the second grab. Here's Matt Clappe, caught by Platten. Stevenson. Graham, perfect kick. Ball out of play. I reckon the boundary umpires have thrown it in 50 times in this last quarter.
40 points the margin. There's Peter Knights. He'll be very proud of his side. Jason Ball wins that one. Madigan trying to get in a hand pass. Crawford's done a lot of hard work. Now Lawrence finds McGuinness. McGuinness caught very high there. Socket off the ground by Ben Allen. Here's Don Pike. Lewis has had a terrific last quarter. Chris Lewis brings it into the pocket. Andy Collins sets himself. Oh, he put enough pressure on and allows Graham to give it to Madigan. Great play by the little back pocket.
That's all you need, Pete, isn't it? Yep.
Oh, he put his body on the line, and here's Ben Allen out at half back.
Oh, taken high by Lewis, and Allen will take a free kick. Lewis getting up with the look of a guilty man. Kick by Allen to centre wing. Diving attempt by Gowers. He brought up a divot too. No mark. Condon. About a minute remaining in the game. A kick wide to Jarman. Listen to the crowd rising to Jarman. What a performance he's put on. Bunn's had a sensational last quarter.
Mark Bunn into half forward. Crawford went without it. Still, oh hell. Should have been a free kick. I think they're playing the advantage here. Bunn on the Gowers. Gowers to the pocket. The lead is on. McDonald has led beautifully full forward. Now he's chipping it into half forward because he saw Tellis and two of the youngsters combining.
Well, the beauty of the Hawthorn forward line, Pete, they've had McDonald, McGuinness, Madigan all presenting themselves at some stage. Taylor playing up the ground at centre half forward, so their structure's been very good.
Raiden Tellis has kicked one. Difficult kick, this one at that end of the ground. Kicking into the breeze. Will have to kick 45 metres. So let's see what he does. It's not a bad looking kick. This is an excellent kick. It's a goal for his second. Well, beautiful kick. It's Hawthorn's day and a very sad looking Mickey Monkhouse looking on.
There's some well done Raiden Tellis. He's one of those players that stepped up today along with other younger teammates I mentioned before, like Mark Graham. And he's just given himself a chance to really consolidate a spot on his side. He's worked very, very hard. Chris Langford deserving a rest there, having had a pretty good game at centre half back. They've had winners all over the ground, Hawthorn.
7 seconds remaining. That was Hawthorn's first goal in this last quarter. The Eagles are out of the middle. McIntosh drops a mark. The siren beats McIntosh. A big win for the Hawks. They'd lost 3 in a row, but there was no way they were going to lose 4 in a row. And they blitzed the competition leaders, the Eagles. Top performance by the Hawks, led by Darren Jarman, who started the game with a perfect hip and shoulder on McKenna. It disorganised the Eagles' back line, and Jarman just got better and better the further the game went. Final score here at Waverley for the triumphant Hawks, 15-10-100 to 7-12-54.